Charles MacArthur Taylor, a wealthy warlord and former president of Liberia. He waged war in West Africa with child soldiers on drugs, killing hundreds of thousands of innocent people. Endless civil wars in Liberia, Sierra Leone and other countries, fueled by blood diamonds and other resources. Now he waits his verdict in The Hague. And in his testimony, Charles Taylor has spoken for the first time about the role of the United States in his rise to power.
My release from the Plymouth County House of Correction was intended to be in West Africa.
There have always been rumors about Taylor's escape from an American prison in 1985, days before a coup in Liberia and the beginning of Taylor's campaign.
It's that Houdini episode that I want to talk to you about now.
Taylor now states that he did not escape, but was set free by secret agents.
I can remember one evening at about 10, one of the prison guards came, opened my cell, it was during lockdown time, and escorted me from the maximum security side through several gates. There were 2 other detainees there. They were already out. I was taken out. We got to the window. These guys took a sheet. We tied it on the bar in a very short distance, and we came down, got over the fence. There was a waiting car outside. My assumption again was that it had to be a government car. My release, well, I'm calling it a release because I didn't break out, so to speak.
The CIA has denied the accusations. The court has largely ignored them. But it must be possible to find out whether Taylor is speaking the truth. Is this an easy excuse, or is the CIA complicit in starting Taylor's resource wars? Taylor has spent much time in the United States. In the early 70s, he studied in Boston. He graduated in economics at Bentley University. One of his classmates was Dolores Adigibe, also from Liberia.
I met Charles Taylor probably my second year of college. I won't say he was a party animal because he would go to the party, he would dance, but he would always find some political conversation. And spend most of his time having debates and arguing back and forth.
Stephen Ellis is expert witness for the tribunal. He wrote a book about Charles Taylor's wars. In Boston, Taylor developed his political skills, Ellis found out. But he also learned other things.
I mean, I've heard stories that he did small jobs like a lot of students, you know, working in a supermarket or a petrol station or something like that. But there's also persistent rumours that he was involved in petty or not quite so petty crime, car theft and things like that.
Well, he was extremely argumentative, and we would have community meetings, and he would practice his political wit and the knowledge of big words.
And he seems to have a natural talent for speaking. He has what the Liberians call a sweet mouth. I mean, he just speaks beautifully.
In 1979, the Liberian President Tolbert visits New York. Taylor and Adigibe take part in a demonstration against him. Taylor manages to occupy the Liberian consulate, and he demands an interview with the president.
There was quite a number of people. It was quite crowded. Thousands of Liberians showed up.
Tolbert himself invited some of the more radical students from the United States, including Charles Taylor, to come home. He wanted to do a deal with the students, say, look, come back, support me.
They were invited for further talks to Liberia, saying, what can we do? What is it that your kids want? You know, and we basically just wanted for you to disperse the wealth so everybody could enjoy, not just 12 families.
Pretty soon after Taylor had got back to Liberia, in fact, a group of soldiers killed President Tolbert. So there was a military coup, which Taylor had nothing to do with. It was pure chance that he happened to be back in Liberia at that point.
And Taylor is the kind of guy that shines when there is a crisis. Right in the midst of it, he was brave enough to go and introduce himself, started helping them out, telling them what they needed to do. Close down the borders, do this, do that. things that they would have never thought about. That's how he got in.
Taylor becomes an important civil servant in the new bureaucracy. He asked Dolores to come over and help him.
I got a call that need someone to run the financial part of the agency. I said, well, you know what? Let's go help the folks. We were superstars. This was like having major responsibilities for the entire purchasing power of the government.
In 1984, the military leader, President Doe, accuses Charles Taylor of stealing about $1 million of government money. Taylor flies to the United States, but soon he is being arrested. In this prison in Plymouth, Massachusetts, he is being detained for 15 months, waiting for his extradition. Tommy DeVol serves his sentence in the same jail.
Very quiet, intelligent person, and he liked to go to the gym. And I'm a boxer. Been a fighter all my life. I'm still a boxing coach today. He wanted me to teach him how to fight, how to hit the bag like combat, you know, just fighting. And he actually bought me a pair of bag gloves and everything in there, street bag gloves. How he got them, I think he had a guard. He paid a guard to bring them in. Now, we started exercising together, became working out together. He always had a lot of money. I mean, I even know the guards used him for money. Some guys would play on him that, you know, they need money to pay bills or whatever, and he'd get money to them. Really? Yeah.
Me and my brother Elmer visited him, and it was absolutely ridiculous because they were treating him like he was a star. I mean, the guards would come and say, oh, we got the New York Times, oh, we got this paper for you, this magazine, providing him with cigars, and be shocked if he's not getting the same treatment in The Hague right now.
The Plymouth House of Correction has always denied helping Charles Taylor with his escape. But Brian Gillen, still head of the prison ward, refuses to comment on Taylor's new statement and even threatens to have us arrested. It is a fact that Tommy DeVol broke out together with Charles Taylor that night, so he must know how it happened. For the first time, he is willing to share his story.
He was a great person, great friend. He made you really believe in him. He says, Tommy, they will not even give me a chance. He swore on, you know, his babies, everybody, that he was not guilty, but he could not get a fair trial. His exact words were, they will put him on a plane, and President Doe will not even let the plane land. He will blow it out of the sky before it even hits the ground.
Taylor offers $50,000 plus diamonds if Tommy can organize the breakout. So Tommy has his friends smuggle tools into the jail.
We're supposed to get a bag of gold and diamonds. He said, a nice bag. I got a nice bag. So we actually got 28 hacksaw blades and a pair of snips for a fence. There was a match on TV, so that's part of what keeps the guys watching TV instead of doing their rounds. I think it was Tyson, Mike Tyson. So we goes upstairs, and like I said, they were playing cards. We're cutting the bars. We get the bar cut. Like I said, once we get the top of the bar cut, and when I went to move it to cut the bar, I said, wow, wait a minute, this thing comes right out of the hole. Charlie was very nervous. He almost didn't go. He says, I can't, I'm not going. I'm like, I'm outside the building hanging off the, you know, the prison bars. Let's go, Charlie. Had to come back in and push him through the bars.
Taylor, Tommy and another friend climb out of the window using sheets. They sneak through the gate, where a getaway car is waiting to bring them to New York.
He paid for a motel room out there. Give me $1,000. And he says he would be back with my money, and I trust him, you know. So the next morning come, no Charlie, he gives me a number. That I called, they says, he's already gone. He's already gone. He's already on a plane. That's what they said. He's already on a plane. So I said, so what's up with me? And they hung me up, click. Call back again, and the assistant, click. So I looked at Tony and I says, we got screwed. I said, we got screwed on this one.
A retired warden, who does not want to be filmed, confirmed Tommy's story. But is it the whole truth? Or was Tommy just a pawn in a bigger scheme to get Taylor to West Africa without legal or political troubles?
Yes, it was in the newspaper. and it was such a laughable thing to tell me that someone tied sheets from a cell wall.
I'm the only one who knows everything from the time, from the jail, from the planning of the escape to New York. After New York, I couldn't tell you a damn thing.
That sounds like the old Wild West. How is that possible? But that's what the newspaper reported. So we were all just laughing and said, something doesn't smell right here.
A day later, a disappointed Tommy turns himself in. But fugitive Taylor manages to cross the border with Mexico. He gets to Africa, puts together a small army in Libya, and in 1989 he invades Liberia. His military commander is Elmer Johnson, Dolores' brother.
Everyone supported Taylor. Everyone did. Expecting that he would do it the right way. My brother, when he started getting more involved in the taking over of the government, they had conversations with these guys, administration people in the American government that were playing both sides, and he would tell me. So I'm sure that they had conversation with Taylor.
Taylor, the first modern warlord, exploits new territory to finance his war. Liberia has many resources like diamonds, timber, gold and rubber.
We normally call this by a much more simple word. It's called plunder, and armies have been doing it for thousands of years. But I think the particular way in which he did it was quite clever, and he was able to surround himself with a coterie of business managers, Liberian or foreign, and began these frankly criminal associations with major drug dealers, arms dealers, quite possibly with Al-Qaeda.
The Latvian investigative journalist Imants Lipins discovered a criminal network that traded Liberian blood diamonds for weapons from Eastern Europe. It was set up in the early 90s by a retired CIA agent.
The gun running and also diamond smuggling was done by one company called IBC, International Business Consult, and this company was registered in Monrovia, and it had two shareholders, 50-50. One was Charles Taylor himself, and the second one was ex-CIA agent Roger D'Onofrio.
When President Doe has been murdered, Taylor's army falls apart. Different factions start fighting each other. Liberia becomes a failed state, where anarchy and horror rule. Child soldiers in drag, genocide, rape and even cannibalism. Elmer Johnson, a professional soldier, is murdered. Rumor has it that Taylor gave the order.
And when we finally found his body, we found a bullet right here. It was assassination style.
We have a situation of 10 years of oppression, 10 years of genocide, and you have a lot of angry people. And I'll tell the world that we will do our best to minimize the situation. Nobody should expect any miracles from Charles Taylor. I'm not Jesus Christ.
I expected Taylor to just say, it's an act of war. Let it go, Sam, I know you heard a lot of stuff, but he wasn't a war. But he couldn't say that to our face and let it go. So I just felt like how he ran when Doe accused him. Now he can't face someone that he's been knowing all his life. Something's not up.
In 1997, Taylor wins the election. The warlord becomes president. But now he starts conflicts in neighboring countries like Sierra Leone, looking for more loot.
Over 250,000 people lost their lives in Liberia. And not to say the allegations about the Sierra Leonean connections and the Guinean connections.
Yeah, this is the definition of a psychopath. Somebody who can be very charming, but who just is incapable of empathy with other people.
He found a way to keep his army going, his lifestyle going, by evading other countries.
Every time there was something about him, the guards come to my cell. They'd give me the Time magazine. I really didn't care for the picture because I never looked at him as a violent man, but he had people tied on the poles and his foot on them with a rifle. Right? So the guards see what you caused, you know what I mean? They threw it in my face like it's my fault.
In 2003, a new rebel army takes over and Taylor has to fly. And now he will go down in history as the first head of state, convicted by an international tribunal for his crimes.
I still try to convince myself that's not him. In all honesty, I still kind of keep convincing myself that that's not him.